this is the hardest one we've done by far so far, or we will have done so far. They still are going to get harder, but we just want to make sure everybody understands how to read stuff now too, right? So this is the 211-657 camera swivel base, and make sure you click submit and OnShape when you're done. But when you see this, you see AB, that's telling us the distance from A to B is 40 millimeters. Then A to C is 38. That's right, it's not square, so you can't use the equals constraint on those things there. B to D is right here. That's 5.5. B to E, so from here up to there is 20, and that's half of that distance right there. So that puts that right in the middle. That's important to know, right? Then the distance from here back to here is 45, so E to F is 45. H, that radius right there is 12, so that means that 12 from here to here is 12, and then from here to here is 12, so the total is 24 across there. Okay, G is right here. That tells us there's a center point, which means there is a hole, and it is a 10 millimeter hole, and it goes through both sides. Okay, J, that's the thickness of each one of these things here. That's 6 millimeters. All right, so that's the whole back part of it. The front part here, they're calling a boss. K is this part right out here, and it is a diameter of 24, and it is 9 millimeters long. Then stacked out on top of that is this L. L is a diameter of 28 and a thickness of 4, right? So then we're going to look at the hole that goes into this. It is a 12 millimeter hole that goes 14 deep. It is going to be a flat bottom hole on this one. That's just the way camera swivels work. And then a counter bore is going to have a 18. This one out here is going to be 18, and it's 3 deep. So that's everything. Notice it is a metric part, so when we get started, it's going to be metric. All right, so apparently I messed something up there. Give me a second. I'm going to pause and restart. Didn't really even need to pause. It came right up. So, all right, so we're doing the camera swivel base, and I'm going to start with my right side right here. Click New Sketch and switch that to View the Normal Plane, and I'm going to go ahead and hide all of the original ones since I'm in an area that I want to be working in. Start here, but I'm going to do center point, put this on here like this, and oh, I realize now that I forgot to change it, so I'm going to change it to metric right now, and that's important to catch right away. 0, okay. Right click on this and edit that sketch again, and this was this distance across here. Dimension was A to C was 38, right? A to B was 40, and we'll finish that sketch and click the corner here, and I'm going to extrude it back the other way for 5.5 millimeters. Oops. 5.5. Okay, so then I'm going to right click. Ooh, wait a minute. What did I mess up? So I'm going to go here and I'm going to extrude that right there. 5.5 going the other way. And nope, no. Oh yeah, okay, that's fine. 6. All right, so maybe I can change that. That's the only one, but I'm going to change my units to be at least 1 decimal place. So now I got that right. Okay, so then I'm going to right click on this side right here. I'm going to click New Sketch and click this way to look at the side of it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and draw a line that comes out here like this. Hit Escape, come out, go to draw another line that comes out like this. All right, that one's not quite it, but I'll drag that out there like that. I'm going to do an arc. You can do a tangent arc right there. That works out okay. That's one of these. Tangent arc means at least one of these sides is going to be tangent, so it works out to do it this way. I'll do a tangent constraint on the other side so it stays that way, and I'm going to do a horizontal constraint between that point and the origin point, which puts it right in the middle. Then we can go out here and put a dimension on this part right here that makes sure that that is a radius of 12. And I want a dimension that goes from this line right here to F, so that's E to F. I believe that was 45. All right, so that's 45. I'm going to finish that sketch. All right, look at it this way. I'm going to click Extrude. I don't want it to extrude that way. I want to go the other direction, and that one I want to be 6. That is most certainly 6, and so we're good there. Now, the tricky one. I could go to the other side and do that whole thing over again, or I can right-click on this side here, click New Sketch, and then I'm going to go to this little button right here, and this one is Use. So I'm going to click Use. I'm going to click that surface right there, and it projects it onto the new plane. I'll finish the sketch, click extrude, and I'm going to put that, make it go the other direction, and it is only 6 millimeters. All right, so that's that back part right there. Right here, I'm going to click new sketch. I'm going to go into this part right here and put a point right on that center point right there. You can also do it and do the constraint. That's good. I'm going to do a hole right here, and I'm going to change my hole's metric. No counterbore. It's a simple hole, 10 millimeters. Well, that worked out perfect. It's going to go not blind, but it is going to go through all, and I'll click right there, and it should be a 10 millimeter hole that goes through it. All right, so the back half of that's done. We're going to worry about the boss now, right? So I'm going to right click on this surface, click new sketch, and look right at it. I'm going to click circle. I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to worry about K first, and that diameter was 24. So 24 is there. Finish that sketch, and I am going to then extrude that sketch. I'm going to extrude that part out, and that extrusion was only 9 millimeters. So I got a 9 millimeter extrusion coming out, and so I got that right there, and I'll finish that sketch. All right, right click on this surface again, new sketch here, and you can do the same thing, look right at it, do a circle here. This diameter was 28. Oops, I gotta drop it first, 28. So I got a 28 diameter there. I'm gonna click enter, and I'll click this right here. And then when I click extrude, I'm gonna make sure I click the center part and this part right here, but that was not very thick. The 28 was only 4 millimeters. So we can only come out 4 millimeters there, and we'll finish that. So this is looking good so far. All right, now is where this gets tricky. So I'm going to click new sketch again. I am going to put a circle or a point right on the center point right there. So I got it figured out, and then I'm going to do a hole. Now this hole is a counterbore hole. We'll try to work this out here before we go through and do it. The hole is not a through hole. It is drilled though. And the drill size is not 12 millimeters, or is it? It is a 12 millimeter hole. It's going through all. Nope, it has a blind termination. The base of it is going to be flat. The counterbore is 18. The depth of that is 3. And the depth of the 12 hole, the whole thing to the bottom, is 14. Right? And then we'll just click this part right here, and it's going to add that hole to it. Okay. All right, so that's it. So that's our part. We're looking good right here at this thing. So this is our front. We'll call that the front view. The top view is looking down at it this way, and your right side view will be that one. And that's probably what we want it to look like. Anyway, so we'll go ahead and right click and click new, create a drawing. Now remember, it is a metric part, so I'm going to click MM, click my 4 views. So I'm going to get my standard front, top, and right side view with an isometric there. And I'm going to tell you right now, as soon as this comes up, the isometric's nice to have, so somebody that's machining it can make it, but I want to just kind of move it up out of the way. It really only needs to be up there in the corner. Okay, so I'm going to right click on this view. I'm going to show my hidden lines. I'm going to right click again, hide my tangent lines. Right click here. I'm going to show my hidden lines. I'm going to right click again, hide my tangent lines. I'm going to right click here, show my hidden lines, and I'm going to right click and hide my tangent lines. All right, so there's our part with all the things we need. This is where it gets, we're going to get a little crazy here. We're going to do our center lines on this. I'm going to do this one and add it so it comes all the way out there. I'm going to add this one and this one. That's our top view. The bottom, our front view down here, we're going to add this one and this one. That's good there. And then over here, we would add ones that go through that hole there, even though it's on the far side. Okay. Everything else we can do from here. I'm going to add a dimension on the starting right here. I'm going to start with the hole. I'll start with the hole and put the hole right here and figure out what this is. So that tells us everything that we need to know about that one. So there's a 12 millimeter and 18 millimeter. This part right here is going to, the outside part, it has one that is a 28 diameter there, and there's one right here. Usually you don't dimension hidden lines, but in this case we will, and that's a 24, right? We'll also, this was important in the original drawing to know that from here to here, from here to the center, was 20, and the length of this side over here was 40. That was important, and this overall length here of 38 was important right there. So that was A to C. Okay, so then we'll look over here on this one, and we're going to start figuring out. So we don't need to worry about the counterbore at all because it's all taken care of here. We know what the diameter was. We know how deep it was. We know what the counterbore diameter was, and we know how deep it went. So those don't need to be, if you can help it, you never dimension hidden lines. All right, so then we're only going to worry about the other things here, and that would be this 4. We'll worry about this 9 right here. And I'm going to worry specifically about that right there, and I want to get that 5.5 right here. If you want to make it look nice, you can do something like this, where you can put everything over here and put it all in a straight line if you wanted to. I probably would do it just like that, right? So it looks good. That looks great, right? I would do it this way. We also could go in here and say we're going to put a dimension in that goes from that point right there to this point right here, and I would line that up right there on that one with that, so it's in line with that. I'll put a radius on right here, and I'm going to use the hole to explain this thing right here because it puts in that it's 10 millimeters through. So it goes through the whole thing, and you can see that in this view, so you don't even have to express that any longer, any farther. So we got our 5.5, we got our 9, we've got our 4, tells us all of those things. We can calculate the overall length by going through here, and it was never important in the original thing that we did that you had the overall length. So we're looking now, these diameters are taken care of on this view over here. The thickness of this part's taken care of. What we do need to know is how thick this part is right here. And that one is established right there. And at this point, we are complete this drawing. Everything's on here. So I'm going to double click them. Well, I'm not going to double click the mouse wheel yet because I'm going to come over to this part and I'm going to backspace over that, and we are going to give it a name. Oops, no, we're going to turn the cap lock on or just do capitals. And we're swivel base, not squivel, just swivel. Swivel base. And we're going to give it a part number. That part number was 211-6-57. Right. Double click the mouse wheel and click submit. And make sure you cover all the bases. You got to get all the things done. Now remember, things are getting harder, and there will be another test.